In Northwest Ohio, a legal battle is playing out between a church pastor and city officials in Bryan. The church is filing a federal suit after the city filed charges for zoning violations. The pastor argues there's nothing wrong with him keeping his church doors open 24 hours, but the city says there are serious safety concerns that need to be addressed. Fox 55's Drew Fry talked with the leaders in Bryan about what they hope comes next.
Dad's Place Church prides itself on allowing anyone to walk through its doors 24/7. During a recent winter storm, 20 people stayed in this building overnight. Now the pastor is facing criminal charges over zoning violations. The city says it's a safety concern. Now the church is responding with a federal lawsuit.
I didn't know why I was still alive. I didn't have really a purpose. But here I can sit and pray, and when things come up, I can be praying.
Maria Shannon says she's been staying at Dad's Place since it opened as a 24/7 church in March. She and her son are more comfortable here than at the Sanctuary homeless shelter just down the street.
They were turning some more people away and some other things, and so we prayed, thought it was the time to open 24/7, and everything was going amazing.
That is until Pastor Chris Avell says city officials showed up unannounced for a building inspection. You talked about it was working so well until it wasn't. Do you have any idea what kind of marked that change?
No.
Mayor Carrie Schlade says she learned people might be living full-time at the church, prompting concerns over zoning code and safety. A November inspection by Fire Chief Douglas Poole found 18 violations.
Some of those were fairly insignificant, and it was easy for them to rectify, but there were some serious concerns at that point.
Poole says this isn't just a matter of zoning. The city is responsible for everyone's safety.
We don't want to see somebody move into a place that burns down around them, and we end up having another national media event because we killed several people in a fire, and I don't want that to occur.
Violations included improperly installed laundry units, unsafe cooking practices, and a need for emergency exits.
We didn't start with charging them, right? We started with, you have 10 days to stop this behavior. At that time, the pastor was denying that people were actually living there or sleeping there. He continued to deny that until mid-January when the chief witnessed folks in cots sleeping in the early morning.
Avell says no one who sleeps there is considered a resident. But the city disagreed, filing charges against Avell for operating a residence in a commercially zoned building. The pastor argues that he's not running a homeless shelter, but offering help to anyone in need. And on that mid-January morning, with people sleeping in cots, temperatures were sub-zero in downtown Bryan.
So when Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest," not just rest as the world gives, but true rest for your souls. We can't come here and say, well, by the way, you can't rest here, all right? Or, by the way, you can't eat here. Or, by the way, listen, we're a church. And that is the use we've been given and agreed to.
Avell said he reached out to the mayor's office but didn't get through. Schlade said the city offered to drop all charges and pay Avell's court costs if he met their standards. Avell has since hired lawyers who have filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Bryan, claiming religious discrimination. And now that this is in the hands of the attorneys, communication has been cut off between the two.
We just have to go through attorneys. We're not welcome to have those conversations based on their attorneys' conversations. They feel that any communication we may have would cause harassment, which I find to be completely untrue.
One thing is clear, both Avell and city leadership want to move forward. Zoning Administrator Andrew Watterson says the church could theoretically request a use variance to open a shelter in the future.
We're looking for compliance. We're looking out for the safety of both the occupants of Dad's Place and the downtown. So we're trying to do right by everybody here.
Avell says he hopes to reestablish his relationship with the city once the legal battle is over.
My home is here. My heart is here. This is my city. I love our government. I love our government officials. I couldn't say that enough. I really, truly do. And I think there's, I think for sure, I'm just certain because of my faith that God is working something good here.
In Bryan, I'm Drew Fry, Fox 55 News.